Hello everyone. 2014 was a wonderful year for films, but there were also some big disappointments. And we've all talked about the movies that were just out and out stinkers, but I'm going to talk about the films that broke my heart. The movies that I really thought were going to be good, but that really just left me wanting more, that I was hoping for, and that just left me kind of alone on the curb of the movie-going experience, feeling just beside myself with sadness that these movies weren't more. So this is a list of my 5 most disappointing films of 2015. There are a lot of stinkers I could get into, which I might mention if I have time later. But for now, let's start with number 5, The Amazing Spider-Man 2. This movie had an opportunity to redeem itself a little bit in terms of where it was in the franchise, because we all know The Amazing Spider-Man wasn't the greatest film. I was hoping that The Amazing Spider-Man 2 would kind of do maybe like a thing where the sequel's better than the first one, but no. No, this movie was actually really, really difficult for me to watch. I felt like it had the problem that I like to call the kitchen sink, where the filmmakers didn't know what to cut out, so they just cut out nothing. There were too many villains, too many storylines, too much going on. I don't even want to talk about Electro and the visual effects choices that were made around his character. It just, for me, was just a huge disappointment. And that's my number 5. I wish it was something else than what it was. The only thing it has going for it is that I think Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone have amazing chemistry. So that made it slightly less painful to watch, but still one of my most disappointing films of 2015. Number 4 of one of the most disappointing films of 2014, Transcendence. I mean, come on, it even looked cheesy. Wally Pfister, who's one of the best DPs in the business, who's made Christopher Nolan's films look good for ages, just really couldn't drive this one home. Johnny Depp quite literally phones in his performance in this film, and it just felt flat and boring and cheesy and just such a huge disappointment. I remember when I first heard about this movie, I was really excited about it. I was looking forward to seeing Wally Pfister get in the director's chair. I was looking forward to seeing Johnny Depp not wearing so much eyeliner. But no, it just really failed. This was a big fail. So Transcendence is number 4 on my list. Number 3 on the list of really, really disappointing films for me in 2014 is Men, Women, and Children. Jason Reitman, come on, man. He gave us Juno. And Up in the Air, which I still think is a little bit overrated, but I still thought was a great film. Men, Women, and Children felt like, a 90, 96 minute, however long it was, PSA or after school special where I was being told, as though I were a child, all the ills and evils of the digital age. We all know that, there are very insidious problems with how addicted we are to our smartphones and our devices, and how dangerous the internet can be, and how there are predators lurking. But I just felt like this movie was one big finger wag, just telling me how bad it is without ever really showing me any nuance. The characters were at times just complete caricatures, and I just was really disappointed. I was hoping it would be something a little more nuanced and complex and human, which we all know Jason Reitman is capable of. So hopefully his next one will be better. My second most disappointing film of 2015, This Is Where I Leave You. This left me so cold. This movie had such a great premise. It had probably one of the better ensemble casts of the year. You have greats like Jason Bateman and Tina Fey, who are comedic geniuses, and it just didn't land for me. This movie felt really kind of thin and shallow. It deals with death in a way that just didn't feel real or close to home. It didn't have the immediacy or intimacy that I was hoping it would. It felt like a big studio movie, and it felt like, big studios do Shiva or whatever. I thought Jane Fonda was a highlight, but again, her character was a little bit silly, and they wrap it up in the third act. There's a reveal that's kind of dumb, and I just wanted this movie to be more than it was. The one thing I will say about this movie that I thought was a surprising, fun little thing was Dax Shepard. His character is pretty funny, but also a caricature and very two-dimensional in many ways. So that's my second most disappointing movie of 2014. Number 1, the most disappointing movie of 2014, the movie that should have been great but wasn't, The Judge. Really, guys? You got Robert Downey Jr., you got Robert Duvall in a courtroom drama in small-town USA, and you mess it up. I don't know how that's possible. This movie felt like it was written by, I don't know, not a Hollywood great. It just felt, oh God, what can I say about The Judge? It didn't feel as deep or as rich as I thought it should. Robert Downey Jr.'s character is barely likable, so it's really hard to watch him move through the movie. I thought he just kind of played a subdued version of Tony Stark. Like, he didn't really have a lot of nuance or color. Duvall is great, but Duvall doesn't really have that much to work with. I think Duvall would be great in a commercial for Depends, you know? He's such a good actor. You could put him in anything and he'd be wonderful. But for me, The Judge was like a heartbreak. I wanted this movie to be good, and it just really, really wasn't. So those are my top 5 most disappointing films of 2015. I will say the movie that takes the cake for being the worst movie of 2014, is The Best of Me. These people that make these Nicholas Sparks movies, please stop. Michelle Monaghan, you're better than that. You know you are. And that's it for me. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your holiday, and happy 2015.
Hey everyone, if you liked this video, click that thumbs up button and make sure to subscribe to our AMC Movie News YouTube channel. It's free and helps you stay up to date with all the latest movie news, as well as our daily AMC Movie Talk show. Also, make sure that you follow us on Facebook and Twitter to stay up to date with all of our special promotions, contests, and prize giveaways.